Next up, at UFC Saudi Arabia, we have the co-main event of the evening. We have a very interesting fight with a couple of weight class changes and quite a bit of discussion. We got Shara Magomedov. He has 2 O's in his name and only 1 I on his head. He's taking on Michael Venom Page. Shara Magomedov, 15-0, undefeated in his career with 12 knockouts. Michael Page, Venom, as we affectionately know him, 12-3 in his career, 3-2 in his last 5. He is coming off that decision loss to Ian Gary. Shara Magomedov is somebody I've compared to a comic book villain more than one time. He has 1 eye. He's missing a tooth. He's got that wild beard looking in 9 different directions. He's got very good striking. He popped onto the scene last year, and they told us this guy was a killer. And while on paper, he's got quite a few finishes, certainly long before the UFC, the actual execution of those finishes in the UFC are a bit up and down. Sure, he finished Antonio Tricoli, but that was on 1 week's notice. Took a little bit of time. His last fight, however, was a wild double spinning back fist like something we've never seen before, but he was losing that fight up until that point. He has 15 fights with 12 knockouts, so he obviously is quite dangerous, insanely powerful, very fast. He'll mix up striking techniques. He's got a ton of kicks. He bounces very lightly on his toes, and even if he is taken down, he doesn't give up. He moves, he continues to work, and tries to get back to his feet. And I mentioned he's coming off that insane double back fist knockout over Armen Petrosyan at UFC 308. Michael Venom Page is a savage striker. He's been very successful in his career. Successful in Bellator, moved over to UFC last year. He showed up on the scene with an absolute showcase over Kevin Holland. And before you guys say Kevin Holland sucks and he's washed, at that time, Kevin Holland was on a nice little streak there, if you will. Even in the loss to Wonder Boy, he looks spectacular coming into that fight. Kevin Holland is a guy that's a pretty solid striker, and if you strike with him, he is there, and he's giving you a hard time. And Michael Venom Page just absolutely showcased. The most impressive thing about that fight and any other Michael Venom Page fight is his ability to cover large distances in a short period of time. He will leap 6 feet forward, crack you a few times, and then be gone. Michael Venom Page has a combat karate background, and that's what helps him. His hands are low. His footwork is insane. He leaps in and out. He touches, he goes, and he's a hard guy to get connected to. His takedown defense is just okay. You're not going to see him attempt any offensive takedowns. And he is, however, coming off that loss to Ian Gary, where he was winning the striking exchanges. He was beating who many people thought was one of the better strikers in the division. But then Ian started to switch it up, shooting some takedowns. And ultimately, that was Michael Venom Page's demise, were the takedowns. A lot of people love Shara in this fight, and I get it, right? Because Shara Magomedov is a guy that can make things happen. We've seen him losing, and then he pulls it out. We've seen him use kicks for 4 minutes of a 5-minute round. We've seen him mix things up and do it well. We've also seen him back up. We've seen him be gun shy. We've seen him get controlled on the feet. And I think Michael Page's awkward style, incredible speed, the length, the weirdness can be successful. I fully recognize this is a different weight class. But Michael Venom Page is not a small guy. He's 6'3". So yeah, 6'3" at welterweight was crazy. 6'3" at middleweight, I don't think that's insane. I think he'll look good, a little more filled out. Hopefully he doesn't lose the speed, because that is his biggest asset in this fight, is his speed and his movement. I'm going to pick Venom Page as an underdog. I have been picking him for 3 weeks. What do you think, Sammy?
I mean, listen, I was going to leave this fight entirely off of my betting bingo card this week, but then Jacob, if you guys haven't seen this video, Jacob put out his lock of the week video, and Jacob is in a must-win spot as far as he is concerned himself. He's never lost more times in a row than this, so this is a week where to him, I believe he probably thinks it's pretty important. And he's picked Michael Venom Page. It made me peel back the layers here and think, what is he seeing here that I'm potentially not? So I like to go back, and I do tape study in very different ways. Well, I like to turn down the volume, and I like to sit there and try and watch it like it's a brand new fight, try and take any biases out of it, And so I'm sitting there. I don't know either of these fighters here. I'm watching Michael Venom Page versus Kevin Holland. And even with the volume turned down, there's one thing that I caught in between the first and the second round, and it was when Kevin Holland's corner was trying to give him advice, and they're trying to tell him how to get to Michael Venom Page, and he says he's not there. And he was frustrated, and he was shaking his head. And it's because even Kevin Holland literally couldn't figure out a way to get to Michael Venom Page in the striking. And Kevin Holland is a pretty dang good striker. Now, listen, Shara Magomedov, he might be up a weight class as well. This might be some home cooking, cracked ass decision, but that's not what we're telling you guys is here to avoid corrupt judging. We're telling you who to pick in this fight. And Michael Venom Page in his style here, the way that he leaps in, I think he's going to see Shara Magomedov's kicks coming. I think he's going to be able to get out of the way of them. He's going to leap in with either his left or right hand and even his leg kicks as well. He's going to be able to close that distance. And I think he's going to be able to outland Shara Magomedov. I think more importantly than that, he's going to be able to make Shara Magomedov miss. And unless you are taking Michael Venom Page down or at least, threatening the takedown, I really don't think that he's an easy guy to beat for anybody in either of these two divisions here. So I think Michael Venom Page is going to be my side. Odds aside, I really think that he can get it past Shara Magomedov here as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if he comes in with a game plan here to close up the one eye that can see out of Shara Magomedov. So I'm going to take MVP as well here.
It is crazy. Dana White said the only reason that Shara has to fight in Abu Dhabi, in Saudi Arabia, in that part of the world is because he doesn't think a U.S. commission would license him with the one eye. I don't know if that's true. I mean, we've seen other fighters with handicap. I managed Nick Newell, for Christ's sake. And obviously, he's a congenital amputee. That's different than missing an eye because depth perception and all that. But I mean, the guy's 15-0. He's got 4 wins at the UFC level. Obviously, the eye isn't affecting his ability to win fights. So I would like to see Shara in America at some point. But for now, we'll get this, and we'll hope that we don't get some home-cooked judging. I got a gift last year when I had Renat Fakhretdinov in the safety parlay, and he did not win that fight, and they gave it to him. That was a gift. And I don't know what I did to please the MMA gods, but I'm happy I did it because we've been screwed before. I can't just keep getting lucky. So
I don't think you won either, but I don't think that was the biggest robbery ever. I really don't. He was in that fight, I agree. I think that Lau won, but I don't think it was the biggest robbery. I've definitely seen worse on many cards in a row. So
I think the worst robbery in modern MMA was Isaac Dogarian not beating C-Rod. That's one of the worst robberies I've seen in the last 15 years. Before that was Michael Bisping beating Matt Hamill. That was bullshit. But this one, I mean, Renat isn't at the top of that. It's Renat's win wasn't quite as bad as Isaac Dogarian's, but I mean, it wasn't good. But hey, we've been screwed before.
It's good for my account,
Yeah, exactly. We've been screwed before, so a win's a win. And that honestly is the reason why I haven't bet Michael Venom Page, because I don't think MVP has the power to knock out Shara. Shara very clearly has a great chin. So MVP is going to have to fight a perfect fight for 50 minutes, which I think he can do. But if those same judges that gave Renat the win are judging this fight, I know Russia's not Saudi Arabia, but it might as well be. So,
it didn't impact the decision, but I was live at UFC 305, and Jairzinho Rozenstruik fighting Taito Ivasa. One judge gave, and he did get fired.
It was brutal.
He gave a 30-27 to Taito Ivasa. I don't think that
I had no success in that fight.
I don't think he won 30 seconds to 1 minute of that fight, let alone the entire thing. And he was walking back to his corner in between each round going, just get me out of here. Let me go get some beers. I'm sick of this shit,
Yeah, you can't always trust judges. Bet Sam and I are on the same side here. We both picked the dog. Jakey Boy made Michael Venom Page's underdog lock of the week. Check out that video. If you do want to check out all the picks, the bets and tools and everything else, we offer $10 for an entire month. WeWantPicks.com. Everything you could ever want or need heading into a fight week. Tools, picks, bets, insight, research, everything. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. We're going to hit up a few people in the community who want to talk about this fight. Aiden, you're back on. Front of the bus. Who do you think wins this fight?
Again, thanks for having me. I do appreciate it. A couple things I got here. I got Shara's younger by 7 years, so that is also a major factor in gas tank. I don't know if Michael Page is able to keep up with Shara the way that he likes to put pressure on his opponents in his fights. He's also got that dog in him. He'll walk in, take a couple punches, walk out. I don't think he's really going to get chinned by Michael, but, there's always that chance that he finds an opening or whatever. He's also got strong and fast punches, and he's very unorthodox with his striking. He'll mix up head kicks, leg kicks, work to the body a bit, And then for MVP, I also have that he has 10 more pro fights than Shara. I think the experience might show a little bit more on MVP's side over the course of the fight. But to be honest, it's a really tough take, really close fight. But I'm just going to have to go with MVP's vet status on this one, boys.
I hear you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. And before I kick you off, we have $1.99 from Parks 2. And to your point, you said MVP has 10 more fights, and Parks 2 said graphic is ass. MVP is 22-3. So I appreciate that. And yeah, that's a typo. I did a whole rant and rave about how these graphics are amazing. I do it myself. Every now and then I'll do a typo. So we appreciate you, Aiden. Thanks for calling in.
Anyways, thank you guys. I do appreciate it. Good luck this weekend. We want
Hey, see you later, buddy.
/BetSam, baby. Come on. Come on.
There you go. There you go. The guy's eating a fucking tuna like a stray cat. Disgusting freak. Michael MacArthur, you wanted to talk about this fight. Who do you have winning?
I have MVP.
Motherfucker, you were sitting here this whole time. You told me ahead of time I want to talk about the co-main event. In the behind-the-scenes chat, get me on, I'm here. And then I put you on, you go, that's what happens?
Talking about, like, I'm about to explain. I've got
Let him cook. Let him cook. Let him cook, bro. Come on.
hands down.
I believe in you, brother. You know?
I think it's crazy on how he's been underdog. He opened as the favorite, as he should, but now that he's been underdog, I think it's crazy. I actually have money on him winning by KO. I know that y'all kind of against that a little bit, but
what odds did you get on that? What odds did you get on that?
What'd you say?
What were the odds? What did you get?
I think it was plus 600 when I bet.
Yeah, I mean, those are solid odds.
Plus 750 on my sportsbook.
Oh. But yeah, I mean, I've got him winning by KO, but I can definitely see it by decision. I just think it's crazy that Shara is the favorite. I think it's more so just the undefeated record and probably the casuals that are betting on it. Probably haven't done their research. But that's just my opinion on it. But I actually have a question for the both of y'all. I have one specifically for Bet Sam. I want to know how much money did you put on a particular heavyweight fighter known as Angelo Bodetti to be the heavyweight champ by the end of the year?
They max bet it. I max bet it.
How much money I bet?
Yes. How much money did you bet? Because, Angelo Bodetti opened up at plus 7,500 odds. He had better odds than Tai Tuivasa.
Sure did.
When it got put on.
I wouldn't put 50 cents on that. He's not under contract. This is the most, unless you're taking a photo of it, this is the most idiotic bet you could make.
Oh, turns out Bet Sam's a fucking pussy. What's your next question, Michael?
The second I meet Angelo, I'm taking him down with the blast double, boys.
Okay.
He's not ready for this.
Good luck.
No, for real, the real question I have for the both of y'all is, I forget what press conference it was. I believe it was after a pay-per-view. Dana said that he was working on something that was going to drive all the press, fucking insane, some fight. I was wondering what fight y'all think that potentially could be. Because I can't figure it out myself.
I have no clue. I thought that was going to be, this is what I thought. Jacob and I talked about this a little while ago. I thought they were going to announce Poatan versus John Jones. I thought that's what they were going to announce because Tom Aspinall's not going anywhere, and that's the only real huge fight you can make right now. That's the biggest fight you can make in MMA right now is Alex Pereira versus John Jones. I thought that's what they were going to announce. And when he didn't announce that, now I have no clue. There's not another fight that I could. There's plenty of great fights, and we're all very excited every week, but I can't think of another fight that would be that big. So I don't know. And it's not Conor.
What about you, Sam? I'm done with Conor fights. He's all
that guy's a bum. I said a year and a half ago he's never fighting again. And people are like, yeah, he will. Look, they announced it, and I thought he was going to fight again, and then he pulled out. So, Sam, are you done eating whatever this disgusting bullshit you're eating to answer his question?
Absolutely, yeah, almost done. Listen, so I think Dana White is literally dangling a hand behind there. I think there's nothing. I think he's got an empty hand there. I think he's just talking for the sake of talking. I think maybe there was something that was close, and it could be what Angelo alluded to. But I myself as well have coned my ear. I sit there some nights thinking of what fights could be announced soon and how I could be excited by them. And I literally have no idea what the fuck it could be. And the most exciting fight for me outside of, like massive, bigger fights like the John Jones, Tom Aspinall fight the biggest one just got announced, and he didn't say that was it. That was Dan Hooker and Justin Gaethje. From a fan perspective, that's as big as it gets, outside of title fights. And there's no big double title fights that they're announcing and jumping up on that Dana has showed excitement towards. So really, I think he's dangling nothing. There's no fighters out there that he's looking to come back. He's not bringing back Francis Ngannou. He hates the fucking dude's guts. So I really don't know what the hell it would be. It would shock me because I consider myself a well-educated person within this space, and I have no idea. So
I agree with that. All the retired fighters that had enough name, value with them, they're all either way too old or like Khabib, where they said they're not coming back. So I was like, well, those fights aren't happening. He hates Ngannou. Everybody expects the Aspinall-Jones fight, and just and Dana's, I think, has said that a time or two. He's like, oh, I've got this big fight that I'm going to make, and none of y'all are going to see it coming. Y'all are going to love it, and then it never really comes to fruition. And I couldn't figure it out. That's why I was going to ask y'all and see if y'all...
I think it was whatever he was dangling, I think is gone. So I think he was working on something. Maybe it's John Jones, Tom Aspinall. He said whatever it was fell in his lap. But obviously I think it's gone. But appreciate you calling in. We got this main event to break down. So give us another call.
See you later, Angelo.
See ya.